everybody getting here. And I will call this meeting to order of the Village of Mount Sterling Financial Planning and Supervision Commission. And call the roll. Mayor Martin.
Yes.
Council President Pro Tempore Burns. Here. Auditor Hunter. Here. Reverend Lawyers.
Here.
Ms. Thompson. Ms. Kroll. Here. And Ms. Miller. We have everyone in attendance. That's great. And quorum. I'd also like to introduce in the audience with us is Dale Vitale from the Ohio Attorney General's office and Frank Coastal from the Ohio Treasurer's office. Sent to you electronically with the agenda were the minutes, and they're also at your seat today. So if there are not any changes or corrections to those, if someone would be interested in making a motion to approve the minutes.
Yes.
Mayor, is there a second? I'll second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, we're going to turn it over on the agenda to the Ohio Auditor State's Office. Jim's going to walk us through a packet that you have at your seat with information through July.
July 31st.
Yeah.
The first thing you should have is the bank reconciliation. It's, again, showing you they're reconciled. There is adjustments that we haven't discussed. $269,000, that was some returned checks, so that's why it's an adjusting item. $269.01.
Yeah, that got
So they had some returned checks. The other adjustments were things we discussed from the reconciliation. Now we'll start working on those as soon as hopefully the audit's released.
What are those return checks from?
From the checks for the water and the sewer.
I thought so.
Yep.
I've never seen those.
So that's just the bank rec. The next thing we look at is the revenue status report. Just to point out, like the general property tax, I think it's at 101% for the year. They got their office settlement and was posted already. It went over what was projected. They got the refund back from the property tax they had to pay on village property, and it finally got exempted, so they got the money back. So that's why it's went over the $27,500 budgeted. So they've got that back. Municipal income tax. In total, it's 65.681% for the year. We should be at 58.3%, so income tax is coming in higher. I think a portion of that is due to the villages in the program with RETA to collect delinquents and people that haven't paid for years. So collections are up, but they're collecting on delinquents from prior. So that's positive. But overall, for the year, revenue for the general funds sitting at 70.51% for the year. So revenue in general for the general funds over what's been budgeted. And then, like last month, I gave you, it shows all the funds for the village. You're just concerned with the general and moving Ohio, which we took care of with the transfer back in March to eliminate that deficit. Any questions over the revenue? expenditures because we didn't have good numbers, so we may have to do some adjustments within the current balances, just move money between appropriation lines for electricity. Because if you look farther back at different electricity lines by department, some are budgets way higher than what's actually being spent. We'll have to get that adjusted as needed.
Now, she did tell you that we have been in contact with, I guess, people in that expertise as to try to eliminate some of that usage. We've actually had people out there, when it was built to operate at 100% capacity, at which we had no idea that our electric bill would be $10,000. So once we got our first electric bill, we went into different companies and said, listen, we can't afford this. Is there any way of making this water plant use less electricity but not to affect the flow that's required from us? And the gentleman was here yesterday or Friday. He works with, refresh my memory.
Iowa Water.
Iowa Water. He's going out there and he's going to start somewhere, and he's going through the entire plant. He said that, you know, there has to be a way of cutting some electricity off but not affecting the water flow. There has to be.
Well, that's no water fund. This
Yeah.
electric
Yes.
line we're looking at is for like
General.
apartment recs in the general fund.
Okay.
Which, you know, different departments, so
Okay.
I'm sure you probably had some programs going on in the spring
We
and
did.
summer
We did.
that you were using lights out there for.
Yeah,
So
we were.
that's probably why it went up.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's, you know, it's just up, but we didn't have good numbers in the past for the park, what your electric usage was. So
Right.
we
Right.
took bills and tried to project it. So that's, and then I wanted to point out operating supplies and materials, just a few lines down, it's sitting at 77%. They had a baseball this spring, so they used up, they had supplies. So that's a number they're still within their budget for the year. I don't know if they're gonna have any more big sporting
That's
events.
the last, that was,
So
that's the
this
big
might
one.
be. And then if we flip to the next page, I will point out, if you come down, of course, the bottom third, you got OPERS for the council. It's line 715 to 11. That's still working through the mix-up with the council on who's paying into OPERS and who's paying into Social Security. So that still hasn't, we haven't got things adjusted for that. We're still working through that. But in total, between the two, they're still within budget between OPERS and Social Security. What was budgeted in total, they're still within, but it just looks funny having one line sitting at 130%. So. And then just a few lines down under Medicare for Courtney, it's 725,213. That is where the payroll service was taking Social Security and OPERS out on Courtney. They are in the process of trying to get that money back, and hopefully if it comes in during the year, because it should be about $1,400, we'll do a negative expenditure adjustment to reduce that back in where it should be, as long as the money comes in before the year closes. So we're going to leave that alone for now until that comes back. And then I'm moving on back to the next page. I wanted to point out our tax collection fees for RETA. It would be line 755,344. We're sitting at 68%. That income tax revenue's up. Plus there's legal fees because of this program that the village is in to collect the back taxes. There's some legal fees. So fees are running higher, plus tax income's in. So our fees when we did this, we based it on, we were projecting 700,000 in income tax, so we did the percentage of fees they charge. Well, with income tax being up, fees are up. So,
And aren't they usually towards the front of the year anyway? I mean, the tax collection fees.
this is for Rita, so it's every
Right.
month. Or-
Oh, it's every month.
Yeah, because Rita's collecting monthly and they bill it.
But do they collect based on how much is collected? I mean, their percentage?
They're 3% is what they're
Okay.
charging. But with having the extra legal fees for them going after people, it's increased. So it's running high right now. We'll probably have some changes coming here later. So that's what we have for appropriations. I don't know if there's any questions on that?
Is there any way on that income tax to know how much is running above because it's just running above, or is it running above because it's past collections?
It's probably up to both. I would have to get their statement out and look at each month to see, because they usually show you what's delinquent and what's current, but I haven't looked at the actual statements from them.
Because at some point in time, the past collections will get caught up.
Yes, at some point, so this might be the exception year and this year be
Yeah.
extremely high, or,
Yeah, just the other time.
well, before we look at next year for the recovery plan and all that, we'll have to go through and look at that to make sure that we don't base it on this year's collection, so.
Right. We don't want to have a false sense. of
Yes, we don't want to do
security
that,
on
but
the revenue source.
I have not done that yet, but that will.
Okay.
What we found, Melissa, was that there was not a very aggressive program to go after RETA taxes until these two girls came on board. People that come to town and do contract labor, for instance, build a water plant. They had no idea if that company or those people paid RETA taxes. We have renters that come and go all the time that, for instance, work out at Kean or they do construction work. So these two girls they began months ago an aggressive program to notify landlords and all the employers that they need to be on top of this RETA tax thing. You know, this is just as important as, it's more important to get this income tax as paying their deposit on water or whatever. They've combined it in a package. You know, they've made a RETA a part of every day. You know, is this person paying RETA tax? Is this person working? And that's one reason that reflects that increase, I think. We've been going back and collecting a lot of past due. They didn't know one lady said, I didn't know I had to pay RETA tax. I work in town, I live in town, but no one ever told me for a year. Well, guess what? It's kind of like a water bill. A lady had water for 2 years and didn't know she had to pay a water bill. Well, guess what? You know, things have changed. So I got to credit my two girls in the office for being very aggressive toward this sort of thing.
Is it the village's responsibility to go after people that have not been paying or filing, or is it Rita's responsibility? Or is it shared?
I think it's our responsibility to go after them and make sure RETA does what they get paid to do. I think RETA was even lax on this whole program. You know, they thought, well, you know, we're just going to collect what's turned into us. You know, we're not going to out and pursue anybody. Well, maybe they don't get paid to do that, but I think from what these two girls tell me, we're losing quite a substantial amount of money a year by not aggressively going after these people.
And part of what we did when we were discussing the 5-year plan with Portman is looking at ways to, of course, the twofold, how do we increase revenue and how do we decrease expenses? And that was, of course, one of the ideas of what if we do increase expenses or revenues to make sure that everyone who should be paying RETA is. So I think that's when with Courtney things, taking the initiative
yet. It's not final, but part of them, to finalize it, they sent the village audit adjustments, and they had to be posted. The village posted them. So I wanted to show you, if you look on it, the first column's the fund balance as of January 1st. They posted the audit adjustments. And if you notice, the audit adjustments have a 0, and they didn't increase or anything. It's washed out, the increases and decreases. But the fund balance as now, as of January 1st, with these adjustments, the general fund's sitting at 232. The street and state highway are now negative. You know, these are audit adjustments. I wouldn't get too excited about seeing this $232,000 positive balance, because at some point the general fund's going to have to transfer the money back to those funds to get them positive. But I just wanted you to see, here's the audit adjustments. The audit has been submitted to our office, but I don't know when it'll actually be released. So that's all I know. We did get the adjustments posted so they can be the final. I just wanted you to see that individually. Here's the new fund balance at the beginning of the year. And then we can look at the cash summary by fund, which shows you, you will be able to see the audit adjustments there, but I wanted to point it out to you. Here's the new beginning balance. But the adjustments are in here. As of July 31st, the general fund has a positive balance of $101,000. And then you can see the street and state highway now have negatives. The street is a negative $59,000, and the state highway is a negative $94,000 in change.
So if everybody get enough to, is that something you look to reconcile at the end of the calendar year, or how will that?
Well, we need to go through and look at their recovery plan and make changes to that for changes in revenue and these other changes in appropriations, and we'll look at it there, because we're in the auditors. I think they've asked for information for the 16-17 audit. I think it's supposed to be done, submitted to our office at the end of September. So hopefully in October we'll have those audits done, and we should have by then really good fund balance numbers, and everything should be worked out. And we should hopefully have really good numbers moving forward from there for balances.
I know we concentrate mostly on the general fund, but can you tell us, I know you have a bond with the OWDA. Is that payment, I'm not sure what the payment schedule is.
For the OWDA stuff, for the water and sewer
Right,
stuff, that comes out of the water and sewer fund.
Okay, but I mean, do you have payment that's due coming up, or?
They made their June payments, or July payments in June, and the next set of payments are due technically January 1st or 2nd, so they'll probably pay them in December.
Okay.
So those are coming up. I don't know the amounts off the top of my head.
Roughly around 400,000 for sewer and water.
Together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you generating enough money to cover those payments?
The water is going to be close.
Yeah.
It'll be really close. The sewer will have more because it's not as high. We are looking at the water fund. We're trying to keep an eye. Don't want it to go negative, but so the village has to look at that. I think they might have something to talk about with that later. But yeah, I'm concerned about the water fund. It's going to be close. So hopefully we'll start working with Courtney and the mayor, and we'll start working on adjustments to the recovery plan and a new certificate appropriations, get everything up to date for more current information.
Remind me when that certificate has to be submitted.
Whenever there's significant changes,
Okay, I'm
they should.
thinking the one for 19.
Well, that comes to the county. They do the alternative method, so they have to submit their financial statements by June, and then they want certified balances, and then the county will issue their amended certificate. So that, they won't get that until early January, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
So, since they do the alternate method.
Any other questions?
thank you, Jim.
We have on here,
Oh, you went through the stats, the audit.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's with Columbus, and I can't control that.
oh no.
Just that we know that it's not gonna be released around election time, and that's early November, and we're nearly
Well, for the
13,
14, 15, if it's sitting there for review, I'm sure it's probably a few weeks out. I don't think it'll be that late.
Okay.
Hopefully by the time we have our next meeting, that one should be out.
Put a note on here on the agenda for an update on the inside millage. The mayor had mentioned that at the last meeting, and Alderman's going to take a look at that. If you don't mind giving us a...
Sure. I have a copy of the email that I sent to the mayor, if everybody wants to take a copy. It doesn't have a lot of information, but it does say, what the breakdown is between the entities. Our brief discussion was about the inside millage, which is 10 mills that can be levied without being voted on. Those 10 mills are split between basically 5 different entities if you look at the county and the vets separately. So the county is currently getting 3 mills of those 10. The vets get half a mil, schools get 5.1, and the township gets 0.4, and the village gets 1. Inside millage is kind of a convoluted thing, the way it's been distributed in the past, but basically those percentages were set back in the 30s as far as who gets what, and it was based on using 2/3 of their rounded average annual levy within the 15 mil limitation, which is what it was back in 29 to 33, during the last 5 years, 1929 to 1933. So those percentages were set way back then. The group that oversees how these amounts are allocated is the County Budget Commission, which is made up of the county treasurer, county auditor, and the prosecutor, the county prosecutor. And looking back at the Budget Commission minutes, going way back to the 50s, this 1 mil that the village has got has been the same since 1952. So there were really no mention in the minutes of how that decision came about, but that's the way it's been allocated for the last 67 years. on the millage times your valuation within the village. And it would also mean taking a percentage away from one of the other entities, the schools, the township, the county,
So the distribution came about in the 30s.
Yes.
The village 1 mil last was 1952.
It's always been 1 mil since. we
Have-
got here.
Have other villages or incorporations varied from this? How do we fall within other groups?
I honestly didn't compare the village with the other, villages and towns within the county, but that's something I could take a look at. Sometimes there have been adjustments through the years between the different categories, but it's just, I don't really know what the reason was behind it. It looks like way back when some of the schools or villages may have come to the Board of Commission and talked to them, but then I don't know if nothing was really done. The minutes from that far back really aren't detailed about how they made their decisions.
I just wonder what the impact would be to go after this for a little while, or to look into it, change anything. If the taxes won't change that much, is it worth the energy to go into it or not, compared to other folks?
Right. To tell you the truth, just a portion of, say, if it increased 0.4 mils, it would only be an increase in tax revenue of about $6,000. So it wouldn't be a very large increase.
Do you want 6,000 extra dollars?
I want 6,000, I don't know if it's worth going after.
Yeah.
For the township, for example, if you took it from the township, then
If you took it from the township, it would be a lot larger decrease to them, because if you take a 0.4 decrease from them based on the total township valuation, it would be a lot more. So it's one of those sticky issues because, everybody wants, more, but it's just,
I guess, I raised the question of, because of the amount of money that we pay in and such a small amount we get back, how did that come to be? And you just explained that. And I need to know that because I see what my expenditures are, and I know what my revenue is, and from looking at this paperwork, we have to talk about other ways of generating revenue.
right.
That's obviously on the table. And where we are talking about, for instance, water and sewage, we have a man doing a study right now, which we're going to be talking about this month. And of course, we have to sit here every day and deal with the public when that sort of thing goes up. My street fund, I get a certain amount of money every month or every year from the state of Ohio, and that hasn't changed in years and years. And of course, our streets have, and they're suffering. So we've got to look at some way of generating revenue for our streets.
It's a problem all across the state.
It is.
The,
It is.
Localities and the counties with the, having their local government funds.
So, yeah. So I guess when she and I sit down, I need to know. I need to see it on paper. I need to know exactly how much money I got coming in and where it's coming from. Because she's going to tell me we've got projects right now on the board that have to be done that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's why I brought that up. I couldn't make that connection. If we're paying in $1.2 million, why are we getting, I forget now, several $1,000s? Who decided we get 10 mills inside millage, and who decided that they're going to split it up that the county gets 3?
Well, the 10 mills is something that's built into the revised code. It's
a normal person. You know, we're paying $1.25 million, and we're getting, I don't know how much we get back, 60,000, or maybe not that much.
But, you know, the distribution goes to those other entities for services provided for, you know, the school and for township services provided.
I know quite a bit goes to the school.
Yes.
That's obvious, 5.1 mils. Now, you were talking about townships. We're talking about property tax now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the township and the school, well, the school just got a income tax passed.
Correct.
So that's gonna be added on top of their 5.1 mils,
Correct.
isn't it?
Correct.
Just like the trustees passed a ballot for mills and the fire department.
Right.
Those are all added on top of this.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
this is just strictly that 10 mil
Yeah.
inside millage, and
Property
then any other
tax.
levies are on top of that. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay. All right, well, thank you very much.
you're welcome. Yeah, it was in the lesson in history, going back that far, you know, what they did way back when, so.
Well, we appreciate you taking a look at it, because there have been instances as we do commissions around the state where there has been a revelation when this has been looked into, and I don't think there is a revelation here, it is what it is, but it was important to make sure because in one case it was a very good news story, just because it hadn't been really peeled back and getting questioned, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Report of the mayor is next on our agenda. Mayor Martin?
I would turn my report over to my fiscal / village administrator, Courtney.
Okay.
She can tell you much more than I can, but it's gonna be all messed up. Courtney, you wanna give a report?
I'm just gonna make it short because I think a lot of it deals with the financial things that Jim already reported. But I think we do take this, you know, recovery plan and all the changes and adjustments that we're gonna have to work through. And I thank everybody here that, you know, supports us, especially LGS and April and Jim and my council. But I think we're taking this every day. We continue to have continuous financial meetings, work sessions with other funds. I mean, because we're not just strictly looking at general, but we're looking at all of it, and making those decisions, and improving, you know, the village. And I think that's the number one importance that we all hold is, you know, making sure that we can, again, gain revenue, but again, decrease expenditures. And sometimes that's hard when you have to operate as well. So we really, I think, continue to make sound decisions, and we'll definitely move forward in making sure that we, you know, follow the 5-year plan, and making those changes and adjustments. But I think it's one day at a time, and I think we'll get there.
So the rate study they're talking about is for the utility bills, so that's one of the things that, you know, they're looking at to help the water and sewer funds. So that's why I said it's gonna be close.
What's the timeframe on the rate study again?
It's going to probably be within the next 2 weeks. We'll receive the response.
Then that would go to council.
Yes.
For the village council?
Okay, I will reiterate, we've been working extremely hard on not only setting revenue, but monitoring all the expenses, the financial two projects right now. And that also helps take the stress off some of the other funds. We are working closely with an engineering firm. It's the firm that did prepare the water and wastewater analysis, especially when it came to our obligations to the outstanding WDA loans. All of council is involved. We've been doing a lot of different work sessions and different committee meetings. I think we did do an initial meeting with them, but more of the final type meeting with them in council probably be, like you said, within the next week or two. Because we need to make sure that all of our funds that we're able to stay positive. The other thing that we are taking a look at with this engineering firm that is kind of on board with us, starting to take a look at what grants are available to us too. There are some things such as water meters that are very critical to the village, but right now are very cost prohibitive. So we're trying to be creative without having any expenditures right now, but to see what monies might be available for future projects. So council's working extremely hard and trying to be very financially responsible and helping the village recover.
Questions? Council? Well, I come in here this morning thinking we tried to do a meeting in about 8 weeks. I'm wondering if we should have a meeting rather than October. September, some of these changes.
I don't think that gives us time to work on it.
The thought with October was that they're gonna have the due date on the 16-17 audit to our office is the end of September. So that's not to say they won't get an extension, but right now, the thought process Jim and I had was by that day, the end of September, we should have any proposed audit adjustments, and we could do one change. If not, we're gonna be doing two changes because we'll have to amend the recovery plan, and then they come back with audit adjustments, we'll have to amend it again.
Well, can you check and see if October 25th? My auditor's office will work for you. Is it Thursday? I think if the thought is we need to, we're just having trouble finding the October dates. So that way, Courtney, you'll have your work done, we'll be able to see the end of September. If we go earlier in the month, we won't get the end of September. Is that, or October, let's aim for that then, October 25th at 10 a.m. And if the audit becomes available, the 13, 14, 15, really, we can go ahead and get that sent out to you. As opposed to doing it. Anything else to go to the order?
I did want to mention, I was contacted by David Kell and the Chamber of Commerce, the Madison County Chamber of Commerce. There is one project in Mount Sterling that needs reviewed and reported on to the state by the end of August. So we will really need some kind of representative from the village to attend this meeting. So
Which meeting did
this is the Tax Incentive Review Council.
tax incentive review?
Yes, for a project that's here in Mount Sterling. It's something that should be reviewed by whatever entity that it's located in. In this case, it's in the village. So I think we're trying to set up a meeting by August 15th. So if we can get a representative to attend, then we can get that
I'm sure we can.
report sent off. It's just reviewing the company, making sure they're reporting out to their end of the agreement. We're creating whatever jobs or investing whatever monies that they agreed to for the project.
Mr. Kell reached out to me about that, and there was an issue with the law director that it's not NORC required. This has kind of been a mention 3 or 4 different times by Mr. Kale, that our attorney said that it's not an ORC for somebody to represent us. So I would like to set up a meeting with our attorney and Mr. Kale to see.
David Kale's the head of Madison County Chamber.
But I hadn't heard that because, you know, it's a normal thing that we have these meetings with other projects just to make sure, because the council has the opportunity to revoke these tax incentives if they're not fully up their FAA, which is, you know, really important for the village. So, yeah.
So if you can just keep me informed, I mean, I know Kale and I, you know, he can let me know what the dates and stuff are, but
I think he was looking at 13 weekends.
I'll make a note to reach out.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? There's a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second? I'll second.
I think everybody wants to leave.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
On a summer day.
Well, that's actually held by the county, it's by the county. Tax motion. Oh, I'm sorry, that's, yeah. Oh, good. Yes, that'll be yeah, it's been the last 6 or 7 months.
Say, okay, give you the dollars on the
Break on your,
or trade.
we'll give you a X% break on your years.
Comment on it.
Okay, so what I think.
Well, that's what we're debating.
Yeah.
And, you know, our attorney's like, you know, if there are incentives out there, if the businesses are going by the end of the year, they claim they were going to do fraud.
Because if not,
So we're saying
they should not have these.
we're not going
And more tax money.
we're not going to
If the businesses don't live up to their deal, you guys are getting gypped because you know, I'm using the example. Whatever community.
So that's what our issue is, why we're trying
We're
to
gonna give you a break, say the business
Why is it our
then doesn't deliver on that target. You shouldn't give them more money, you shouldn't go pay the extra tax. So could
So
be
they're upset when we say, well,
they're due Brazil or the county. And obviously,
That's weird. I looked, I see
probably don't have to attend. It might come to it. Now, I'm not 100% sure, Mayor, I've heard as much as you did, we've both heard the same amount. But you may want to talk to your solicitor and see if this is what it's going to be. You're new to the so you're talking about a hand on everything. Get an idea of what incentives are out there that may affect mouse.
you want to set something up, I mean,
It might be worth meeting. The worst that can happen is you learn something. Well, I know you are. I mean, you got such a big job. So stepping into the I know you're learning every day. Not sure you're happy about what you learn every day, but you learn
I'll just go
every
back
day.
and check and see.
Yeah, I think you gotta. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Keep fighting the good fight, Mayor. You're doing a great job. Yeah, well, you are correct. That's your best time. You're right.
And stuff like that, that's.
I think they're trying to stop.
the introduction to the.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a
Okay. You know what is funny, because I've seen it, and they have like some people say, oh my gosh, you try Lowe's, and I swear I noticed, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought, I was like, I don't wanna say anything. I know, I'm just weird things. Yes, well, I just knew, I don't know. They were so put about it, I was like, I don't wanna say anything. Yeah. I was like that one,
To get a feel for
Congratulations.
understanding what's going on. Yeah, see, we knew that.
About to pull your hair out and say, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I guess I've got one more, so they're all just-
You know,
Well, it's only like that one.
I wonder if they agree to take, I wonder if they would try to support, you know, which is.
It's like, oh, you have one good kid, and there's like, the next one's like, who's gonna have another?
Yes.
Doing, I was concerned about it.
Thank you. Now it's summer walk.
Right, she was, exactly.
Like, I just knew, like, that's something about it. Well, and I just did, I was like watching. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Instruction.
What I did, I noticed something that was different.
Try to catch him. Be careful, Paul's going Thanks, Jen. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been really great. It's been really,
How you doing?
really good.
We'll get there.
You know, not biased.
We can say hi to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's been hard to, I've been here for a little bit.
Are you?
I think that's.
Are you? Or do you bring this very much?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, local. No, go ahead.
Oh,
I'll sit them over there. I'm sorry.
First of all, you said next meeting was October 25th? Like,
Okay, they're trying to.
the other one,
I've never seen Wales, it's like that.
you and I, it just does the box.
I haven't told you.
Learned
about people heights. That makes sense.
Says, if I remember right, it comes about expedited now.
It was weird.
But I see it. Sticks in the five-year plan.
If you're advertising every local paper, but it only comes out electronically, which I'm not really if it's only one weekly.
Exactly, and if it has to be, Hebrew versus what I'm trying to do is just make sure that.
Thank you. Just one more.
That's what I was wanting to say. If the seniors, let's take $2 after.
Weird people like us.
Thank you.